Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Extra Points, a double dose this week.
DD.
John Barry to my left here, I'm Eric Schmoldt. Hopefully you got a chance to check out the softball tournament preview we ran yesterday. If you didn't, we'll link it up right here. You can go back and watch that after you're done watching us preview the baseball side of things here, with things kind of kicking off, at least for Divisions 2 and 3 here on Thursday. And then we'll have Division 1 and everybody else kind of get going next week on Tuesday. So I think we obviously need to start here in town, Division 1 side of things. Again, games not until next week, but I think all eyes will be on Janesville. Craig looking to make its third straight trip to state, number 1 ranked for much of the season, now number 3. And look what's looming there as we look at the brackets right now. We got Parker going to Fort Atkinson, and if Parker wins, we'd have a third Craig-Parker matchup.
Which surprisingly won't occur in the sectionals as it could have in the last few years when they both made it there. But Parker, seed a little lower. Their record wasn't the best, but the Vikings come in with it. They, as we record this, have won 3 in a row, and certainly with the Cougars. I mean, they continue to just impress every time I get to see them play. And I'll tell you what, Mitchell Wolfley's turned into a good pitcher with Evan Spry battling some arm injuries. Now he's back. I saw Jack Blomgren throw just a gem the other day, a one-hitter and winning. And to me, I don't think there's any question that if not in the state, Jake Campbell is clearly going to be the player of the year in the Big 8 Conference. I mean, just an incredible season that young kid has put together. And, up and down that lineup, there really isn't there's not somebody you can really go after because they're all pretty capable. So the Cougars, to make a run, somebody's going to have to beat them with really good pitching because they're not going to beat themselves, and they're going to score some runs. It's going to take somebody that's just on their game that day to beat the Cougs because they're so balanced and so consistent that they're not going to beat themselves.
Who is that? Is it Madison West? I mean, we were waiting here as the game got postponed Tuesday night this week. They're playing later in the week, but
no.
That's the team that beat them one or two times so far in the regular season.
They beat them on a wind blowing out, two home runs because the wind was blowing out on a game that Craig led 4-0. And it's something that Vic's talked about is when we get our foot on their necks, we've got to keep pressure on, and we got to keep the proverbial foot on the pedal. And he said we haven't done that in our 2 losses. And he said it's something we've learned from. But no, I don't think West is a threat to the Cougars. I think it's going to be, like I said, somebody that's maybe got one stud pitcher that they can throw at Craig, but when you get into sectionals, you don't have the luxury that Craig has of having 3 or 4 guys. If you only got one good kid, do you save them and hope that you play Craig that second game, or do you pitch him right away and then have all hands on deck for that championship game? And that's one thing Craig doesn't have to worry about.
I guess then the interesting thing is if they were to get through, if the seeds held true, they'd see Beloit in that first game of sectionals, and they haven't seen Miguel Betancourt.
They have not,
in
no.
the 2 regular season meetings. Maybe he's a guy that I don't, I'm not saying he's the world's best pitcher, but a guy, even you haven't seen a guy, maybe
and
that's
there's a
what
reason,
takes.
and it's probably why Beloit did that is for that very reason, just to, why show them, show your hand beforehand if you don't have to, and they didn't have to, and but Beloit's got to win some games to get there too, and I think outside of Craig, I think that bracket's wide open. I mean, I don't think there's anybody. Craig clearly head and shoulders above everybody else in their sectional, but then after that, I think all those teams are capable of beating each other. I mean, Parker as a 9 seed,
playing their best baseball.
Probably right now, and going to Fort Atkinson, which. I think the Badger South was down a little bit this year, but the Blackhawks certainly are a good hitting team. And, then you match up against Craig, and you just, like I say, I'll give you the field if I can have Craig. How's that?
I don't know that I want that.
Okay, all right.
You probably still have to give me some good odds.
All right, okay.
But let's hope for that Parker-Craig matchup. Always fun in the postseason. That would be next Thursday, June 1st.
Tough to beat a team 3 times.
And we'll just have to kind of stick around. We got a little time here yet. And keep an eye on that and see if that matchup comes to fruition. Again, Division 2, 3, those teams are scheduled to start Thursday of this week with the regional quarterfinals. And obviously, I think the team to watch Division 2 wise is Beloit Turner again, a team that's been ranked at or near the top of Division 2 for a lot of the season, and they're the number 1 seed down at the bottom of that Division 2 area sectional.
Yeah, they've been rolling since losing to Whitewater early in the year, and really the Trojans again, as good as advertised. I mean, that's with Waldsmith and Martindale. You got two good pitchers, a lineup with Seager and Martindale and Waldsmith, and certainly Ethan Burns leading off. It's the best of both worlds if you're a Beloit Turner fan, because it's a team that can hurt you so many ways, and yet, if they need, with Waldsmith, the 2 times I've seen him, he's been lights out. I mean, he's thrown well, and again, they're a team, because of their lineup, they're going to score some runs. So it's going to take good pitching for somebody to beat Trojans. That's what I think.
Here's what I'm looking at too. If this holds true, and we get to that Evansville sectional, the second sectional semifinal at 1:30 p.m. that day, Turner and Catholic Memorial, that might be the best sectional semifinal in state, regardless of any division.
That might be your state champion, the winner of that game. I think they were 1 and 2 as we speak in the state ratings. So, and keep an eye on Evansville. The Blue Devils lost 2 close games to Jefferson last week, but their pitching's good as well. I mean, Austin and Wardwell have thrown well all year, and again, you get to that sectional, you got 2 good pitchers, you're at an advantage, and the the Blue Devils have that. So again, I don't think Turner's the prohibitive favorite like Craig is in theirs, but certainly they're the best team in that bracket.
Yeah, and Evansville's on the other side, so they would,
right.
They're a number 4 seed. The other thing I think with Evansville is, they've got a bunch of players that were on that team that made a run to sectionals last year. I think even though they lost to those 2 Jefferson games, they were close. They were very good baseball games,
right.
Low scoring. I think putting themselves in those situations in big games will lead to some good things, and
right.
maybe could carry them through a little postseason run here.
Yep.
And Whitewater is down there.
Yeah, don't count out the Warhawks or the Whippets, I should say.
They're on the Turner side.
They're on the Turner side, and they're when
they make plays in the field,
yeah,
I think.
I think when Curtis pitches, they're in every game. I mean, unfortunately for them, when Parrish got hurt, that hurt them. But
I saw his name box score last night.
Did you? Well, maybe
so that might be a little something to keep an eye on.
That should be something to keep an eye on, because he's got a good bat too. So even if he can't pitch, if he can bat with Duvall and the rest of those guys, that would be a nice addition come tournament time.
And we talked about Parkview on the softball side of things, dropping down to Division 4. They're Division 3 in baseball. They open at home against New Glarus, and that's a team that sometimes has made some postseason noise. So don't count them out.
Don't count out the Vikes. No, don't do it.
There's your baseball tournament preview. Things really get cracking next week, and we'll try to just keep you up to date.
Yeah, I would
here
be
as things
stunned
go
if
along.
we didn't get an area team to the state tournament. I'd be shocked.
It's you and I.
Baseball.
You and I have kind of made it a yearly
pilgrimage
up to Appleton, and it's
Neuroscience Field.
It's a fun place to watch a game, and
it is.
Gosh darn it, somebody gets back there again. We don't want that run to continue.
Somebody will get back there in baseball. I will.
You're putting your money on
I'm putting my money on that.
Right.
Yes.
You heard it here.
Okay.
Right here. Yep. You might as well book your hotel rooms and
book them right now.
Get your oil changed and get ready for the drive.
Right. So. Just don't go the way we went last time.
Hey, it was fun. Scenic route. We'll see you guys as these tournaments progress, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.